Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Discourse with Jimi Disu, brought to you as usual by MTN. And today is what I called, maybe we should have this thing regularly, what I call the Youth Forum, when we'll gather people to express themselves rather than have them call in. You know, when people do call in, they hide behind the anonymity. This one now, we go see the person where they talk. We can see his face. We are on YouTube live and we're on Facebook live, and therefore you can sit back and enjoy as if you are watching television. And so today we were going to talk. We're going to see how for us to get a feeling as to how the incident in Kenya has impacted us in Nigeria. But like I said the other day, it's not an aluta. It's not an aluta situation. We just want to sit back and have, a proper analysis. And the president has scrapped the office of the first lady. He has reduced the salaries of the ministers. A lot of reforms are going on in Kenya. So far, minus the casualties, we can almost say that there seems to be some level of success in what we had. Like I said, it's not an aluta thing. I mean, so we'll guide ourselves carefully. We don't want to raise. We don't want to raise doors. We just want to have a clinical analysis of what's going on. I have in the studio on Nosonya Omotayo. Who's that one now? That's the guy. Okay, he's a bearded one. If you're watching YouTube, he's the bearded one. I ain't get beard. That's what. That's you. Okay. Is the size 8 shirts. I have a new man, Larry Kadiri. That's him. In weird jacket, coming for the show. He's formally dressed. Jacket. And I also have Benjamin Chinozo.
Yes, sir.
Benjamin, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Well, usually anything in Nigeria now, they want to have some balancing. The invitation was open, so we didn't get anybody of northern origin. It's not as if we didn't want. If I had known, I had a visitor in my house, just James. James is from Plateau State. Would have been good to bring him in, but if I tell him now, James, come and sit down and talk with us here, you say I'm coming. Let me go to the toilet. Next call I'll get is on his way to AJ. I assume that everybody here knows what was going on in Kenya. I assume that's why you had some interest.
Yes, sir.
In coming, but maybe I can, Mr. Size Ayoba, maybe you can give us a 2-minute rap, to tell those probably who are listening for the first time what the Kenyan crisis was all about.
Okay. For what I've heard so far, I think it started in the previous administration, before this current administration came in.
Before Ruto?
Yes. That a loan was collected, and it wasn't properly used. And their president came up with a bill in order to repay those loans. Then
charge so that if they would have enough funds to repay. And then you have to...
Yes, that's actually spot on.
Okay.
What the president was trying to do is just to mop up a little bit of money in circulation. Something similar to what we are experiencing in Nigeria at the moment, whereby the government keep taxing the people. Unfortunately, they are not doing the same thing they are asking of the people, of the populace. You keep taking from them to repay loan. The loan you took was not properly channeled. People can't see it in the economy. They can't feel it in their everyday life. However, you keep taking from them. You are not doing the same. They are tightening their belt. While they are tightening their belt, nothing is being or seen done on your own part. So I guess the youth started with a minor protest about everybody joining, although they did the Gen Z protest. However, I want to believe it's not just the Gen Z. The millennials and the Gen Zs and the next generation joined, because a 12-year-old lost, I think 12-year-old or 14-year-old.
Was he killed by a stray bullet, though?
Yeah, by a police.
Was he demonstrating?
No, it was actually, from what I heard,
yes.
He was going to pick up a note from a colleague in school.
Oh, so it was a stray bullet.
It was a stray bullet.
That's okay. And the president couldn't really, he gave a a very curt reply when he was asked on one of the TV programs.
Yeah, he lied about it. He said some of the corpses that were presented, they were gotten from the
No,
morgue.
it was the police chief that said that. The president wasn't the one who said they were gotten from the morgue. Are you aware of that? Did you follow that development? Yes, you did. Okay, tell us what you know.
I think I heard the police chief. He was the one that made that statement.
That made that statement. Yes,
That some of the bodies were brought out from the morgue. So
let's look at that statement as reasonable people. It doesn't add up to me. Why? Who's going to allow people
to bring out
policemen all over the world are something else? How did he contrive that?
If you're on Twitter, you're active on Twitter. However,
yes,
it's something similar to what we experienced back then,
in
2020,
NSAS.
during the NSAS protest. I was actually at the protest ground that very day, 2020, at the Lekki, until when I got a call from a friend that, something funny might happen.
That might happen, yeah.
Please leave the protest ground. Then I drove away then. And so when I got the call that there's an action going on, I was advised to get there then. So when the governor came online on TV the following day that nothing happened, that it's only one casualty, I was like, are you for real?
Are you for real? Well, these things happen. Yeah, Benjamin, right? Larry, you've been following this crisis in Kenya. What effect has it had on you personally?
Yes, thank you, sir.
What has it done to you? It's done something to me personally. Okay, and what it has done, I will tell you mine. What it has done is that it has validated my fears that I have, that when you push people to the wall, they will react. And once they taste blood, it's going to be very difficult for you to take their teeth out of that skin. As you can see now, in the Kenya crisis, what's there with a tax issue has now gone beyond that. So I wonder what it did to you.
Yes, thank you. Like, in addition to the point that has been highlighted,
yes,
there's something I've seen about this situation, which is betrayal of trust. They trusted him before the election.
Trusted who now?
Trusted the president,
Ruto.
That he made the promise that he was going to make things easier for them. But he did otherwise. These are part of the things that we are trying to avoid even in this country.
Yes.
A situation whereby you betray people's trust. It's anybody can go to any length to do self-defense. Because trust is actually what will bring you the limelight. When people trust you with their life, with their resources, with their heart, with their mind, and at the end of the day, you didn't do what you promised to do. So that's one of the major things I think I've learned.
So there's a lesson for, I'm assuming what you're saying is that there's a lesson for us in Nigeria to learn from that singular perspective.
Yes, sir.
The issue of trust.
Trust.
Right? Why do you think it is the youth that have gotten up? You call them which ones do you call this one now? The
Gen
Z.
Who are these Gen Zs? What are the definition? Am I a Gen Z? I've been told I'm not. I'm something, I'm a baby. So that
baby boomer.
Maybe sound like a baby factory.
No, you're a baby boomer.
Yeah, baby boomer. But these Gen Zs are between what age now?
I think I heard from 1990.
Let's not say they're teenagers.
No.
No.
They're slightly older.
Yes.
Slightly older.
Okay, let's just say
Between
In the early 20s.
in
They
their
should be
early
in their
20s.
early 20s now.
Yeah.
Now that's a significant number, because so you're looking at those who most likely are either in uni or 1997 to 2012. So 12 that he didn't understand, for example, the obedience movement. He thought that it was a group of people that have meetings, and he doesn't know. He didn't know that it's a very fluid. It's a very fluid movement. Is that what you had in Kenya?
Yes, sir. It started with online, on X, Twitter. Just like a few people, something similar was supposed to happen yesterday.
Yes.
That's EFCC. I don't know if you know.
Yes, what happened? Yes, the EFCC.
Yeah, there was supposed
they
to
raised
be
an alarm.
a similar protest.
Yes.
Against EFCC.
Yes.
I drove through Awolowo Road, Ikoyi there, around the EFCC, and I saw the
A few people.
police, ragtags, and the rest of them. So also at Lekki toll gate, and I was
Something
wondering.
these guys.
It's like, I was just like, what's going on? They were fully armed, ready for
Who are
protest.
fully armed?
The
now?
police.
Oh, okay.
The police, they were ready for the protesters. And 2 nights ago, there was an online, more like a meeting, gathering, sampling opinions of the youth to know
That's
whether
on Twitter Space.
on Twitter Space to know what next steps to take, because the activities of the EFCC of recent has been nothing to write home about. Burgling and kidnapping people.
Yeah,
I'll call it
that's-
kidnapping people in the hotels and private homes and stuff like that.
Man, we carry babe go hotel now. He's at risk. Oh,
People's lives are not. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, Uncle
You know?
Jimmy, you
Yes.
know, when you look at their operations lately, and especially in hotels, like as you said yesterday, and I think
You're
the
talking
owner-
about the EFCC.
yes,
I don't want to deviate from. I'm sorry because time. I don't want us to lose track of what we're saying. Leave the EFCC. They will, you see, the thing is this: when you keep telling people the right thing, and they keep thinking that they can do all these things to deceive everybody, you see, don't look. That problem will solve itself. I just hope that none of us is a casualty
Amen.
in between that.
Amen.
If people think that you are the wisest on the face of the earth and you can continue to deceive people in this age using tactics of 1970 something in this modern age, you got to be joking. I get a feeling that even our own politicians don't understand the power of the youth.
yeah, I guess that was what I was going to say when I was
Yes.
talking about
Yes.
when you mentioned Professor Wole Soyinka.
Yes.
I guess that's the challenge I think the professor is experiencing right now. It seems not to be in touch with today's reality, and that's
Maybe no, I don't think it would be to say in touch. Is that both him and the generation and part of mine too
yes.
don't have a clear understanding of how, when you say in touch, it's to have a clear understanding. Thank God for my exposure in the media and the work that I do. In my head, I'm a millennial. What am I in my head?
Baby boomer.
I'm not a baby boomer in my head. Trust, you can trust that. All that you young people know, I know. The one Blackberry gun, I know. I know these things. Because of my job, I know. But what I do notice with a lot of my age group and so on, including those who are strong politicians that are my friends, they don't understand. They just don't mind them, or they'll just make noise and that will be it. What they don't know is there's a maxim about if at first you don't succeed, try. And every time you try again, you seem to perfect it. The NSAS thing that happened in Nigeria was very, very frightening for one major reason. There was no visible arrowhead.
Sure. That's the same thing that happened in Kenya.
In Kenya,
They have no arrowhead. Nobody.
arrowhead, yes.
Nobody's taking money from anybody. Even if it takes money from one politician, the next person is already championing, as in everybody, no arrowhead. And the president keeps making promises that these are the things he's going to do. Like he promised to knock off the office of the first lady,
First lady.
cut down the salaries of the Senate and the House. He has made a lot of promises, but the youth yet, they don't believe him. That's why the process is still ongoing.
well, I'm sorry to say, well, thank God I'm not in Kenya. I think he's sweet-mouthed, really. He has the what do you call it, of the gap. He can almost convince you to take your pants up in public.
Yeah.
I used to actually. It's a pity because I actually saw a lot of promise in him. But the day that I knew that there was something wrong was the day he sat in Biden's chair. In the same manner in which when my children were about 6-7 years old and they came to see me in the office, I tell them to sit in my chair. Once the moment I saw
What he mentioned the other time about
Is there
the trust deficit.
they say him.
Yes.
Yeah, he mentioned.
Well, the trust deficit is faulty on both. What our people need to understand, and I'm talking of Africa generally, is that before you trust any politician or leader, you go back to the antecedents. So that at least if you do due diligence up to a point, then you know what you are dealing with. But what I've discovered in Africa is that a lot of Africans are intellectually lazy. We don't mean go and read political science before you can. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Make your
We
findings.
don't want to ask questions. Like the ones who said they wanted to do the same thing with the EFCC. They didn't think it through. These things don't happen overnight. Oh, because it was done, we want to do. No.
No, I don't think so, sir.
What? I think so, because if it didn't succeed, then it wasn't well planned.
No,
It's as simple as that.
if my guesses are correct,
Yes.
I believe that's just to push their attention to see the reaction of the government.
Are you one of them?
I was on the space. I was on
You're
Twitter
on the
space, so I listened to them.
You
So-
forgot that the government is on the space.
Yeah, that's just to test the waters, as in to see their reaction.
See, let me be honest with you. We still need a lot of deep thinking across the African continent. It's not just Nigeria. Apparently, the education that most of us have is we have all the degrees in this world, but we are not enlightened. Yeah. Do you understand?
I agree with
It's
you.
like Fela's song where you have all the degrees, but ordinary common sense you not get. It's because the very first thing, because one of the things I wanted to ask, which is a dangerous question, but I think could it ever happen in Nigeria? Do you think that the Nigerian, what is it, millennium they call them?
Millennials.
Millennium.
Are structured to of course not violently really, but at
Yeah.
least to
demand for their right.
to do a little pushback to say that look, this is not right. We've had cases upon cases upon cases where Nigerians should have reacted. I don't know. We're a very lucky country. In some other countries, you can't get away with your legislators buying vehicles for 160 million.
Uncle
You
Jimmy,
wanna say something?
Yes, I wanted to say something.
Yes.
I was on a Twitter space yesterday and I saw
Yes.
where someone wrote that it's like we're going to have an African spring. So, and I wrote down there, I said, as a Nigerian, this is a clue for our government to learn.
Could do.
Sorry, sir. My thinking, though I'm not on Twitter space, I deleted it when I was supposed to write an exam last year. So now
So
I've
that
not
you can face your exam.
yeah, but I've not
Very
installed it
install
back.
it.
Very good.
So when
Because
most
you
times,
must not fail.
yes, and I've passed. I'm not a chartered accountant.
Yeah, chartered. Very good.
So, I do tell people is that what is the reasoning what is my reasoning as a person? What is the reasoning around me? You know, the youth will always say, oh, we want to be the president, we will have a candidate to nominate. I
Yes.
always ask them, I have people who believe in me, but we don't believe in there. Some of them are to be governor, you be president. How many local governments do you think you people gather together? Oh, we are nominating this candidate and we are going to put our funds for. So going forward, we are not supposed to look at don't look at that mega party. Look at the party on how you administrate among yourself. Get involved in your grassroots. It's when you get involved in your grassroots, you know the thinking of the people you are living with in your community. Then you can now say, oh, let me go and propagate this mindset to another community. From there you grow. But all this, just think.
Why are you shaking your head?
Why do
No,
you
very
think-
quickly. Why are you shaking your
I
head?
just don't agree with the idea. Why 2020 protest failed. I learned going to happen right now.
Yes.
Why we're not going to have something similar? Why they are not asking questions? The politicians, Nigerian politicians, are very lucky. They are the luckiest politicians on the face of Africa. Because number one, they've been able to distract the youth. Drugs. Majority of the youth are on opioids. They are doing a lot of things, distractions. They have a lot of distractions facing them. We really don't have that right thinking people in the majority. I think that-
Because our thinking is individual.
yeah. So we have this I
It's
better pass
selfish.
my neighbor
Yes.
mentality.
Yes.
So once somebody is okay, I don't care about
The next
what
person.
the next person, what Ayobami is doing, until they just want to be happy. As in, that's all. 2020 protest. Majority of the people coming to the protest
Every
don't
man for
have no
himself, Mason.
idea. There's no iota of, oh, this is what really we want to do and all of that. They are just busy. They just want to party because they made the protest ground a party ground. So that's why 2020 protest.
Okay, we have to take a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue these discussions and we'll start taking some phone calls. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Talk, news, and sports after this.
Let us dive into the heart of global affairs.
We go beyond the headlines and into the real stories shaping our world.
Why pay more than $200 million to have 1,000 Kenyan soldiers come to Haiti when we could use that money to train the police?
What you've done with your grief is actually to spread it and give it and turn it into the love.
This served Netanyahu because he didn't think Hamas would ever be a serious military threat.
Congo is a country with such wealth. The people have been fighting to regain control.
From the corridors of power to the front lines of change, Borderline brings you in with analysis of the issues.
The U.S. has power over them. Most of them will steal money from Haiti and invest in the U.S.
Some people who support Sonko and Jumai, over half of them don't have a voter's card.
Sounds like Nigeria.
Join Ireti Bakari Yusuf on Borderlines as she engages with policymakers and thought leaders,
giving you perspectives and insights you won't find anywhere else.
Be part of the conversation. Join us live.
Your voice matters on Borderlines as we explore the complexities.
Every Friday at 4 p.m.
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Stay informed, stay engaged.
Step into the conversation.
Here go there.
You didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo.
If you get the big dreams to do big things, Milo need it with red money. If you get the big dreams to do big things, Milo need it with red money. If you get the big dreams,
get loans of up to 7 million naira on Rain Money. Call 0700 5000 500. Visit rain.com to get started now.
The search for Nigeria's bravest children is on. The 16th Indomie Heroes Awards themed The Unsung Heroes is here. A CSR initiative powered by Duffield Prima Foods Limited. The Indomie Heroes Awards call on young Nigerians to share their heroic stories in any of these categories: social, intellectual, or physical bravery. Are you aged 15 and below? Visit heroesofnigeria.com to submit story of your brave acts. Entry closes by July 10.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Okay, so you welcome back to the Discourse with Jimi Disu, and we're trying to rub our minds on the Kenyan crisis and reflect on it. I have Onosonya Motayo, I have Olanrewaju Ayobami, I have Newman Lanre Kadiri, and I have Benjamin Chinon. So now you said you wanted to say something. The name again, sir. Sorry, I forgot.
Newman Lanre Kadiri.
Lanre Kadiri, yes, Newman, yes.
Yes, I'm trying to see how we can strike a balance in this discourse.
Okay.
Most of us have said so much, and you also made a point about our different thinking, way of thinking, our perspective. And then there is this statement about thinking outside the box. If we keep repeating things the same way over and over again, it is assumed that we are insane. You also made mention about, how you wish you have a representative from the north. I want to see if I can...
that was a joke, though.
Yes, actually, yes, it's good. He made reference to about setting up things from the local level, from There's a problem in the country. We have to face that. It's a reality work in the sense that we not approach this second phase. Let me use the word second phase after the NSAS. The same way it's been done before. The idea of this place is that you can stay in your house for safety purpose, for security purpose, in order for the government not to say you want to cause something like a trouble. Stay in your house with your family, bring out your pot and your spoon, start eating it, take a picture, send it.
No, we won't.
No, I'm not. Yes, you're right.
No, I'm going to stop you there. We won't take a lecture on how to.
Okay.
Okay. But we're not going to lecture you on how
to go.
what we're doing here is analysis. If you come to lecture, I get more treats past you.
We just have to come.
But I just agree. I just agree with. I think it was you, Omotayo, about the Nigerian mindset. Nigerian mindset is a bit selfish.
Yeah.
That's why it's only in Nigerian lingo you hear something calling the product "I better pass my neighbor." Just this morning, Nigerians are gradually becoming megalomaniacs. If you go to the social media, all kinds of riffraffs and everybody now has police escorts, this and that. Even you find adults behaving like children.
You're right about that.
Behaving like they had a denied childhood. If you go to the videos in Facebook, medicinal rulers also, everybody wants to, and everybody has become it, and that caused the main character, the character string that goes through the various generations in our own whatever, is selfish. It's selfish. So for those who think that it might happen, it jolly well might not. I don't know about being in your house and putting in pots together. Yes, you wanted to say something.
Okay, so my guy has said the maybe Ruto betray the trust of people.
Yes.
Me and as an accountant, when someone says something, I put it down, put it in values in proper context. So you promise me 1, 2, 3, you promise me a car. I look at your source of income. I see how that is what. So sometimes, for example, my mom asked me, he said, "Sir, you just said that situation."
What do you mean by that?
So, sir, when I spent 5 years in the village. Okay, sorry. I spent 5 years in the village. And the only time when we have bread in the village is when people come from Lagos to visit us. That's when we eat bread. And we use oil. That's what we use to heat it. Yes. So how do we eat all around the year? We have how we plant whatever we are going to eat.
Are
not
you
to
holding
sell.
your mom responsible for the cost of Gary?
So
we don't have enough time for your long story.
Yes. No,
I just want to know the principle of what. No, excuse me. We don't have time.
Yes.
I want to know when your mom said that the price of Gary is whatever, and you said, "Did you plant cassava?"
Yeah.
In one sentence, what were you trying to tell her?
I told her that they should get someone who will work on the farm to plant those cassava so that they can.
I think it was an unfair thing that you did, but do you agree with what he has just said?
No, sir, I didn't agree with him.
What's your name again, please?
My name is Benjamin.
Benjamin, yes.
So I very quickly, when people say we should go back to farm, it's not everybody that can farm.
That can farm.
All of us can't go back to farm.
That's not how the world runs.
See, we have farmers that are already on the farm. Before now, let's say 10, 12 years back, we have been feeding. We have farmers. So the government should be able to provide security for those farmers. Yeah? So you don't need to tell me to go back to farm.
You should apologize to your mom.
I don't agree with him. That's my own point on that.
And
Thank
in
you.
addition, sorry,
Jimmy, sorry, time. The same thing I told them. That's what I always tell people.
I mean, my idea is in tandem with what you also said. However, the agriculture people practiced some years back, it's not the same agriculture that it's
the world has gone beyond.
The world has gone way beyond peasant farming and all of that. As in the way you plant cassava some years ago, civilization has taken over. A lot of people don't do oko and ada, as in cutlass and whole farming anymore. The world has gone beyond that. The government can make provisions for tractors and a couple of other farming
and encourage food production. Let's just leave it at that. Don't let's waste so much time on that issue, because generally it's not even just about food anyway. The government just needs to be proactive. I think the first thing that the Nigerian government should learn from this Kenyan incident is the optics. The optics are perception is more dangerous than the reality. The optics of telling people to tighten your belt whilst you losing yours. That in itself, people find offensive. Excuse me, we are all equal in the eyes of God. So if by opportunity you find yourself, just because you find yourself in a position as a leader, you think that you can acquire everything to yourself and deny other people, it's not going to all go well.
Sir.
Yes.
I feel the next revolution, I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to instigate people to go to streets. I feel that the next revolution might not be even from the youth. It might be from the security
plight. Let me give you a simple scenario. You're at a party. The guy who is serving you probably has an OND. He's paid 2,000 naira. And he sees that the food that you guys are eating is close to 40,000 naira a plate. Because even if you look at the plate itself,
it's more.
It's more. And so you now have this guy with big muscles. You say he's protecting you. He is on another 2,005. And you still feel safe in that same environment, and you do it repeatedly. My fear is this, and this is, and I had Mr. Yemi Kandi Johnson here last week, and we made a veiled reference to this, that my fear is even not for the poor, it's for the middle class, because if anything should erupt, they will be the first target.
Sure. I'm already facing it where I live.
Oh, you're facing it?
Yeah, I'm already facing it. I breed dogs. Aside I have about 3 things I do, and when I walk my dogs around, people in my neighborhood, as in you just hear them personally that in your as in they say personally, and in my mind, I'm scared. Because they feel I'm doing way better than them. No, while the dog breeding is business for me.
Well, you get problem. 0201-277-0993 1993-2993-3993. We are going to open up our lines now. When you do call in, let's mind your language. We are not doing a looter here. I keep saying it. And probably has youth from once a month. Maybe every last Saturday on the Discourse, once a month. Not you same people, though. Don't think to become every month. No. But I think it's something. I'm beginning to think that it's something that we might need to look at and see how well it will evolve. Or maybe if I can ask if we can have a separate program entirely on maybe on a Sunday, for example. It will be nice in the evening after football. Let's pick that call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Doc, good morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning to all our guests there.
Yes.
Good morning. Yesterday on my way going to the airport. By EFCC building, I saw half of Lagos police in that place.
Yes.
I thought they want to come and inject the EFCC, out of the property. They had such problem before.
Yes.
Not until one of our guests mentioned the protest or whatever. That is Nigerian police for you. Uncle Jimmy, I've been calling out the vice president who spoke at the MPA conference that he's going to be in charge of security. Today, what are we having? Do you know on the this guy's program, Kofi Batel, people have been calling on me on radio. Why are you always mentioning? Because the man promised that. On my own way, I've been calling that man. If I have my way, I will sue Kashim Shettima.
No, God, please don't let's personalize these things. Maybe he wanted to, but reality has made him realize. Reality has made him realize that there's a position called Commander-in-Chief, and he's not subordinated to any other person.
They should not be.
Let me take another caller. Hello, good morning. Politicians can say all what they like. When they get there, there's only one Commander-in-Chief.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Morning, Pastor Ladipo, quickly.
Okay, this is Pastor Ladipo from Sarigomo. Uncle Jimmy, this reality we are talking about, I want you to understand that some of them are privy to it because they have been close to the government.
Yeah.
You see, there is a difference between somebody having the willpower. Maybe you have the opportunity to have access to some things. You now say to yourself, based on your value, that I won't do this thing until we satisfy the masses. Because until our politicians think like that, this reality will be a reality to them. They will keep pretending that it's a reality, that it is not what they plan. That is all. You see, in the case of this Ruto, you have gotten there, you've promised everything, but in your very eyes, they were increasing these things. You did not say anything. It tells that your motive too. So, if you come back to our nation today, Uncle Jimmy, you know where this problem starts from. It starts from we, the followers. Now, somebody is made a councillor. Everybody puts pressure on that person, from his family member and all of that. I watched Obuno Oblak's interview, and I weep for this nation. The man said his family people were abusing him. Everybody rejected it that you are giving such an ample opportunity. There are things we call opportunity in this country today. They are not. Our value has totally gone.
Okay, thank you, please. Thank you very much. I think your point is noted. Do you think that we can continue to, that is, we the people, can continue to have the kind of values that we have and continue to suffer indefinitely? Do you think so?
No.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where you think that it's for you to go grab your own opportunity, is that, do you think that is sustainable as a value system to have?
It's not sustainable. It's not something that is worth even encouraging in this dispensation. Like you also said, we should come out.
Well, it's become it doesn't need encouragement because it's become a part of us.
We should come out of this third world mentality.
Yes.
Inferiority complex is making us to want to be superior by amounting wealth and affluence to be able to dictate to people what they should do. And that's why we say that
is the greatest disease. That's where a phrase like "a better pass my neighbor" comes from.
And like you also said, you don't need to just go to the four walls of a school building for you to be educated. When you are an educated mind, there are things you can solve in the grassroots.
But do you know that I'm inclined to believe that unconsciously the elite deliberately spread ignorance?
Sure.
You agree?
Sure. That's why I said that's part of what
deliberately. It's an unconscious.
It has been weaponized.
Yes, weaponized. Yes. Look at our politicians. Instead of them to give your children scholarship, they buy them a raw lotter and sewing machine and things like that. Tell me one politician that has set up a library in his neighborhood.
Like somebody said,
you understand what I'm saying?
The budget for education is lower than the budget for other things.
Yes. And our people don't see it.
No, they prefer people in my neighborhood before election.
This is your neighborhood. Is that wow?
No,
they're envying you feeding your dog.
Sir, no, sir, I'm active and I don't keep quiet. I tell people I don't care. What's that can happen? I'm seeing it already, so I can tell. So, like I was trying to mention the other time, that the middle class, and why I said the revolution might even start with people they work with. In Kenya, how the revolution started was like while they were holding Twitter space, some of the people, they begin to ask questions. The phone numbers and emails of the people that they work with, drop it. If you are working with the president, if you are working with any senators, anybody holding public offices, they begin to drop it. And they put it on Twitter space and people begin to make calls. They were unable to make use of their phone. That's how they started with the tax end tax bill in Kenya. So that's why I said it might even start from there. There will be the people that they thought work with them, they will be the one to reveal their
because you've exposed them.
They will expose them to the public and they will begin to bamboozle them.
I mean, don't you get something like that in the way, for example, the minimum wage has been handled? Remember, this issue of minimum wage didn't even start with the Tinubu government.
Yes, sir.
And they've been tossing everybody around. And I've always said, how do I feel safe? I'm driving a car bought with government funds for 160 million. Okay, the man who is driving me is on 40,000. I roger him another 50. Even if you roger him 1 million, he still knows in his mind that this man, this idiot at the back, with what is, with all his affluence and whatever, these are the funds that could have been used to send my own children to school, for them to get better and for me to have a better life. But they don't think like that.
Majority of those drivers don't think like
that. They don't think like that. Even the Nigerian thinking really, and I think that I'm going to ask a very careful question here now. I think that religion has also helped in shaping the thinking of our people. You're always looking for hope and you're looking for a miracle. You understand?
You are very spot on.
I said that religion in Nigeria is a business transaction. If I go to church, I go to programs, I fast and I pray, then God will send me a helper. You kind of pray, God send me a helper. If you go to church in England, nobody asks you for a helper. Do you understand? Our thinking It's our thinking that needs to change, and it will take a while. So I think that my conclusion, and I'd like to know what you agree with, is that our politicians they should keep on. There's nothing for them to be afraid of.
Yeah, they should keep on so that they will push.
They should keep on, because the truth is, the Nigerian thinking will never produce that kind of thing that happened in Kenya. There could be an attempt.
No, sir, it will happen. But when
you think it will happen?
It will happen.
I hope not.
But when it will happen,
pray that it doesn't.
I pray it doesn't happen.
Good.
However, but with the set of politicians we have, I don't want to personalize.
No,
this,
not personalize.
But somebody threatening a sitting senator that I'll take you out of office. Another.
No, leave that man alone.
Irrespective of what.
Let me hear what you are. I know who you are referring to. Leave him alone with his designer. Hey, what do I say?
So, in conclusion, from my own end, I'm still going back to what I said before. For what has happened in Kenya, our politicians should put eye and learn, so they will so to avoid pushing people to the wall.
I want to bust your bubble. It's a wasted exercise asking them to. Do you know why? The people are living in denial. Living in denial is part of our DNA. When you have an aspiration that is far up, the average Nigerian has an aspiration that is far above his area of competence. Every Nigerian dreams that one day I will live in Ikoyi. You don't look at the reality. It's only we educated ones that will say, because all of us believe that, okay, let me join politics, I will be PA, I will be, the thinking is different. The thinking is completely different. I'm one of those who think that that kind of thing. We have a number, we have a phone there. What's it doing? Okay. Hello, okay. Let's pick another call. What's the time? 9:48. Okay, hello, good morning. Hello. We have a call there. Hello, morning. Morning. We can't take calls. Wow. Hey, let's try another one. Hello.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning to your gentlemen there. Peter Monse is my name from Shomulu.
Quickly, sir, because quickly.
Yeah, now I want to ask this question. What was the part the clergymen play in Kenya and the elders? Did they discourage them? Because during June 12th struggle, the youth that were on the street, they were not ready all over. We just and glance through and get where there will be a protest tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. I think your point. Okay, thank you, sir. Like I said, the bishops came out in support. Here, our religious leaders will be telling you something like, "Daddy has not spoken to me. Let us continue to pray," and this and that. I can't imagine, because whether we like it or not, we have to admit that we have two major religions, Pentecostal and Islam. That's what we have generally, a majority, and then of course Christian and so on and so forth. And the way these people are, I've said that Nigeria is a conspiracy between the politicians,
and the
civil servants,
leaders.
the religious leaders, and traditional rulers. They've held us to ransom. They've held us in our heads, and they've held us down physically. The one of the head is the most dangerous. It's most dangerous. We don't think things out. They've taken the nature. One day somebody said, "Oh, he's not going to work on Monday because they have a church program at 9 o'clock on the Monday morning." Who does that?
Nigerians.
In any sane environment.
Nigerian.
Yes. So it's going to be very, very tough, and I doubt very much if we will find ourselves in this kind of space. However, there is something in the dictionary called surprise. Surprise means that something might come up in another form that you don't envisage, and that is where my fear lies in Nigeria, in terms of even what you said. Okay, so we have just about 9:51. We have to start going. I'd like to thank you guys. This is a non-ending discussion, okay? Very soon I'll be inviting another set of people, or maybe you say, guys, Nosoya Motayo, where is he? Oh, that's him. It's the man with the dog. What kind of dogs do you have?
Rottweilers.
Oh, rot. I'm not a rot person. I have one very troublesome dog. Maybe my friend will put it up for sale. Bruno. Even in playing with you, he will bite you.
Except for play bite. Except,
yes.
Probably you didn't train your dog to.
It's not my dog, my friend, but I like the dogs. But even when he's playing with, he's happy to see you.
Yeah.
The way to say good morning is to bite you.
They play bite anyway.
It's a play bite. A bite is a bite.
No,
it's painful.
Olariwaju Ayobami, that's you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Newman, that's you. And Benjamin Chinoso. Yeah. I didn't even ask what you do for a living. Very quickly. And also, you are the one who breeds the dogs.
Yeah, but that's a side also. My major is into renewable energy.
Renewable energy.
Yeah,
What's renewable energy?
Solar.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the other day, somebody said he was into petroleum, into oil and gas. Only for me to discover that he's selling kerosene. So when you say renewable energy, I got to know. Then what do you do? I mean, you're the accountant.
Yes.
You're the accountant. I'm
an entrepreneur and we have something in common. Renewable energy. I'm into marketing also.
Okay. Entrepreneur too, if you say wusi, yeah, what do you do, Benjamin?
I'm in the real estate.
Real estate.
I work with a facility management company.
Oh, okay. I thought you sell houses.
No, sir.
Okay. That's why we're going to end it.
Uncle, do you want to buy a house?
No, I'm not buying any house again. I don't. There are so many things I don't believe in. I don't believe in amassing properties and giving yourself a whole lot of problems. There are so many things you can do with your money. But that's a story for another day. Onye, today this is your second yellow. Next week I'll give you a red. Okay, that's where we're going to end it for today. I'll be back, God willing. Sorry. I know this one is for local. But again, they have these weeks that are this thing, but I don't want to. I would have loved to scrape your head to see whether it's a week. Okay, so that's where we'll end it for today. I'll be back again next week. I'll be back on Tuesday. Tuesday, don't forget on Tuesday we're having the gentleman from what do they call these vehicle inspectors, VIO office. There's a new policy on transportation in Lagos that is going to reveal on Tuesday, and I find it quite exciting. Hopefully by October, the way you move around the Victoria Land axis is going to be pretty different. So you don't want to miss that on Tuesday. And of course on Wednesday, we'll be doing Dear Bome. One more time, I'd like to thank you very much for coming. We learned it for today.
Thank you for having us.
Remember, there's a sweet match again today. Don't forget that. All right, so thank you, gentlemen. I'll see you all next week. Bye.
.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.